Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Wow, it's 8 o'clock. How's it even already 8 o'clock? Good morning, Monday. What's up? What do you have for me today? So I was thinking this morning about how, it really takes a lot of work and discipline on my part every damn day to get into a positive mindset. Like, I really would just love to be, I don't know, do they exist really? Like one of those people that just wake up and they're automatically like pointed in the right direction with the positive pants on, with their good gear on, like just everything's like good, For me, I eventually get pointed in that way, but I like constantly have to work at it. So I was just thinking about how much discipline it does really take, that if you're not naturally like that, right, because you've been trained and conditioned and you've gotten to the habit of being otherwise, how do you get more positive? How do you raise your frequency? How do you feel better? How do you feel good? And how do you find purpose in your everyday living? Like, what is the point of it all? I definitely had a little taste of that this weekend, probably because I went to Old Navy. Thank you, Kathy. That was fun. But when I left, it was so busy. And just seeing all these people just pour their money out into getting their kids these just, school clothes, but it's like, it was just really like watching like a bunch of robots shop in a way. Or I don't know. It's like, why aren't y'all at Goodwill saving your money? So anyways, but my girls found 2 hoodies. Thank you, Kathy. Thank God they're having a sale, because then they could both get one. But anyways, when I left, it was just such like an energy zap, and I was like, what is the point of it all for people? Like, just working and getting money and then spending it at Old Navy and then sending their kids off to school. And it was just an interesting vibe. There was a lot of like moms there. Their kids were going to go into kindergarten. And maybe I was picking up on all their mixed emotions. Like, their babes leaving the nest. They're sad. They're excited. They're nervous. They're sad. It was definitely, I was picking up on other people's emotions. And even earlier that day at the park, we had gone to the park, and randomly this mom started talking to me. She's like, I can't believe it's time for school already. And I was like, oh, is your kid excited? And she goes, no, my son's going into 1st grade and he just kind of feels over it and he doesn't want to go. He's like, he feels over it already and he doesn't want to go. And I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I don't know how I would feel about it either. I'm like, I've been homeschooling my children for, 17 years. And I was like, and I love it. And I was like, and you'd probably love it too. Once you get a taste of freedom, you'd never go back to the system. And she just looked at me, because maybe she wasn't expecting that. But it's like, mama, it's like, if every part of you is saying like, I don't want to send my child to school, you need to ask yourself, why are you still doing it? Because you don't have to. It's like, it's just wild to me to see people so controlled and so conditioned. And I get it. I get what matrix we're living in. It takes a lot of just against the grain going for me to always be doing my own thing. But literally, once again, once you get a taste for it, once you get a taste of freedom, you just literally cannot go back. So anyways, how's it going? We're doing another law of the universe today. This is another group law. Like we did the law, like last week we did the law of group life, and like the law of group endeavors, something like that. And today we're doing the law of group progress. Or if you're in the UK or Australia, the law of group progress, which probably does make more sense to say it like that. But we in Pennsylvania, it's all about progress. Like, which really, that would be PRAWGRESS. Progress. All right. Well, anyways, the law of group progress, or progress, my dear. And then I'm excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the law of healing. So I can't wait for Tuesday. I can't wait for tomorrow. But today we're doing the law of group progress, which is kind of a continuation of the law of group life that we did Friday. The law of group life Friday was all about bringing the law of brotherhood into expression. And before you do anything, ask yourself, will my action tend to the group good, or will the group suffer or hurt if I do this action? Because all aspects of life are interdependent. And when one precedes fuller expressions, all of the group benefits. So, like, before you're doing anything, is it going to affect the group in a positive way, or is the group going to suffer? Is it going to add to the highest good of the all, or is this just some detrimental service to self bullshit that isn't going to help the group whatsoever? So as we activate the law of brotherhood, we bring it into expression. That is the law of group life. We're all connected, y'all. We're all connected, y'all. We're all connected, y'all. So when you and I get together on the week daily basis, and we raise our vibration, and we start to think about things and expand ourselves, and it's like, admit to ourselves, yo, like, we need to work on this, and we do that, that helps the all. That affects the all. We're not just expanding ourselves, we're helping expand the group. So today we're doing the law of group progress. It's just a short little paragraph, so I'll read it. The law of group progress, number 37. This law is also known as the law of elevation. The law of elevation. The symbol is the mountain and the goat standing at the summit with the astrological sign of Capricorn. And then in parentheses it says, all hard places can be surmounted and the summit reached by the divine goat. A symbol meaning group effort. And the last sentence of this says, the ray energy is progressive energy of the seventh ray, the evolving factor. So it's also known the law of elevation. It's the idea that all things can be surmounted and our goals can be reached by the divine goat, which symbolizes group effort. So we can meet a lot of our goals, I guess, when we come together and be goats. No, wait. When we come together and have a group effort, the law of group progress, the law of elevation can be kicked in. It's a progressive energy. It's an evolving factor. So yeah, it's like we've been living in this egoic place of separation, and how we're really going to make progress in life is when we come together as a group, right? Unity consciousness. Understand that we're all interconnected. Yeah. And understand that, like, we can't have some people suffering on this world and expect ourselves to do well. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not the way the universe works. Like, we're all interconnected. So it's like humanity needs to take care of each other, you know, learn how to be one, learn how to have a heart, learn how to be kind, learn how to have compassion, you know, because if the world's going to benefit, if the world is going to elevate, if we're going to reach our humanity goals, right? Having a peaceful world, having a loving world, having a kind world, having a world that there is no one starving, that everyone, you know, is taken care of, basic needs are met, no one is being tortured, no one is at war, right? I would say these are humanity's goals. if that's ever going to happen, we need to come together. We need to evolve to the place where each person understands that they are interconnected with everyone else and all things else, right? Like not just each other, but nature and animals and the whole ecosystem. We're all connected. We're all nature. We're all one. And that is going to be true group progress. So the law of group progress, the law of elevation, holy shit, people, get it together. For the love of God, get it together. Get it together already, right? Let's start communicating love. Let's start working together. Let's start being the divine goats, right? Let's start being in a place where we can have community and a group effort. And then we'll actually summit and, we'll actually reach some of our goals. Yes, all hard places can be surmounted and the summit reached by group effort. So on that note, let's all be the divine goat. All right. Oh my gosh. I just went on a wild goose hunt. First there was goats. Now there's gooses. I just went on a wild goose hunt looking for this one deck. When I was envisioning the goat on the mountain, I don't know if you were, I was. I was thinking of the Earth Magic deck, how we are all connected within the realm, the energy of Mother Earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to pull from the Earth Magic deck. Like I didn't have it down here with my botanical decks. Like it's not one that I was planning on using during this podcast. But I felt like I need it. So I went upstairs to look for it. Couldn't find it. Came downstairs, looked around here, couldn't find it. Went back upstairs again. And then I saw it. Isn't that weird when you don't see things the first time, even though it's like right in front of your face? So I got my little cardio up and down the stairs. Whew, got my Earth Magic deck. Let's pull a couple cards from this. Got my cup full of roasted dandelion root tea and the Herbal Marie mug. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary birthday. Which one is it? Of the podcast Herbal Marie. So I'm supposed to be doing a giveaway. I said I would in my head. We'll see if I can pull that together. But anyways, tomorrow is 1 year for Herbal Marie. Is that a birthday or anniversary? I guess I'm going to do birthday. I'm going to do birthday. And then I can continue laughing that I have a Leo podcast. I don't know what the birthday of Herb Oracle is. I'd have to look. When did I start this? Who knows? But I would definitely have to look. So I'm going to get this deck warmed up, going to shuffle it a bit, going to drink my tea, and then we'll see if we need any other cards, but we'll just see what the Earth Magic deck has to bring to us today. It's by Stephen D. Farmer, and it's a classic, so you're going to love it. I don't know if I have too many Oracle decks that have goats in them. I don't know if I have any, to tell you the truth. I know this one has a mountain in it. That's probably what made me think of it. I did a really interesting card reading for myself last night using the Galactic Heritage deck. And I pulled many, many cards. It was very deep and personal. Like, oh my gosh, like that deck really calls me out on my BS. It tells me things that I was like, oh yeah, there's that. But anyways, one of the coolest parts of the reading last night was I pulled the whale card, the crustacean, and whales work with you in your dream time. So it was an invitation to work with whale energy during my dreams. And I know my dreams were a little different last night, but when I went to bed, I listened to whale songs. And I hardly remember listening to them at all. I felt right asleep. And so I was trying to pay attention to my dreams. Nothing significant happened that I can think of right now, but I am going to do that for a few nights and just kind of see if I can tap into the whale consciousness and see what they've got to offer me, or how they'd like to help me, or I don't know. We'll see. But my dreams could definitely improve. I've told you before, they're usually so stupid. Like, so stupid. Like, wow. So I would love for them to become more beautiful. Because I did have one time I had a beautiful dream about a whale and two whales. And they were just in my dream for a minute, but the color of the sea and the ocean and this magnificent city that they were in, this bay, and that was surrounded by this like light emerald seafoam green city. And yeah, it was just this amazing color of light green everywhere. And which is weird because I don't always remember colors in my dream. But anyways, I'm getting a little distracted here. Let's get back to earth magic. But I've always been aware of whales. Let's say that. And whales are interesting because they're not just one consciousness, they're group consciousness. Oh, that's funny. Now we're doing all this group stuff and the whales come into my life. I didn't even connect those dots. But yeah, it's not just one soul in a whale. It's a group of souls. That's what makes them so special. All right, so here we go. Earth magic. I say let's just do a standard 3-card pull. Let's have a few cards. Let's have a few cards from Earth magic as we're talking about group consciousness. And what was the law of today? I don't even know. Law of group something. Law of group something. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, we've got the spring equinox with rebirth. Interesting. And we have fairies on the bottom. All right, so we are not doing a standard 3-card pull. I can already feel that. So spring equinox, rebirth. Mother Nature is holding a whitish, pinkish, white opal kind of opal stone colored rabbit. It's this really beautiful rabbit. She's holding a rabbit and she's got butterflies in her hair. She's got greenery for her hair. She's wearing a nest of eggs on her chest. Like, she is nature. Spring equinox, Lady Spring, if you will. She's got an owl sitting behind her. She's Lady Spring, dressed in green, with this message of rebirth. This message of rebirth. And I feel like that when we're talking about, us coming together as a group and finally tapping into a little taste of unity consciousness, right? We're not going to be able to jump into it because we've been so programmed to feel separate and isolated and just the world of the ego. But as we come into a more interconnected state within nature, with plants, with herbs, with trees, with Mother Earth, Gaia, Chaitanya, we ourselves are rebirthing into a new consciousness, a new part of ourselves. We'll say, I don't know who that person was who didn't feel connected to everything. At some point, we'll look back at our old selves and know that we have rebirthed into someone new. So you're a new person in each moment, truly. Just think about it. You're not even who you were last week. You're not. You're not. And in an even grander way, you're definitely not going to be the same person when we start getting into that true, sincere place of brotherhood and sisterhood, of humanhood. So yeah, the spring equinox. Oh God, I wish it was the spring equinox all over again. I've already noticed how the days are getting shorter here in the northern hemisphere, like right away, right out. I mean, it just seems like we just had summer solstice, and I think it's already getting like darker, like 20 minutes earlier than it was. So that's okay. That's the cycles. That's what we flow through. So this spring equinox has come through with fairies, which is earth magic. As we start to see ourselves as nature, as we spend more time in nature, being one with nature, letting nature tune us, there is the fairy realm that we can access, or more so, that can access us now. Once we get our frequency open to it, our vibration raises, right? We start to get into those places where the higher realms can now communicate with us. And yeah, those can be angels, those can be guides, those can be dragons, those can be ETs, those can be fairies. So good morning, Monday. I didn't know we were going to get weird. Oh, we getting weird, all right. Right? Like, if you step up and say that you believe in fairies, you instantly get the weird label. But that's just ridiculous, because they've always been a part of this earth. It's just that humans have gotten so disconnected from the magic. Yeah. So yeah, the magic is in 5D and higher, but down here, while our ass is still sitting in 3D, we can't tap into it. But the earth's energies are rebirthing, right? And they are raising. So as we go along with the earth and raise our frequencies with the earth, as we rebirth with the earth, we will be able now to access the earth magic. So we've got spring equinox and fairies, and I'm gonna look in the book for us. I just have to, because I know there's more to be said, and I haven't used this deck in forever. But I wouldn't mind, like, whoa. I was just about to say I wouldn't mind one more card, and the deck took a shit, threw itself, cut itself so hard that it almost hit the floor. And guess who wanted to come out? It's the tree. The tree wanted to come out. This beautiful image of an as above, so below tree. It has a message of grounding, which is just perfect. We are getting 3 cards here. We really, really are getting 3 cards. So as the earth raises, we need to ground into her more. We literally need to be trees. We need to be the tree. And I actually connected with a beautiful tree this weekend. Oh my gosh. I wish you could have been there with me. It was magnificent. It was a ginormous willow. A beautiful, magnificent, ginormous, huge willow. So I just felt like I wanted to walk around this park. So I took a walk by myself, and as I got near the edge of the park by this little creeky river, it's not really a river, it's bigger than a creek, but not a river, you know. At the edge of the water, this willow tree was like calling me over to it. It was incredible. It was so tall, so big, so massive. I've never seen one that big. And yeah, it just called me in, and it held space for me, and it was just incredible. And I thought about how a couple weeks ago we pulled the willow card, and you know how deep the roots run, right? The deeps are incredibly massive. As high as the tree goes, the roots go down, and it's drawn to the water, and it bridges the land and the water. It interconnects the two. And it's these deep, deep roots that allow it to have these branches that dance and sway to the music of nature, you know, and it's just such an incredible teacher for us on so many levels. We can take so many lessons from this tree, and any tree. But anyways, it was so incredible. I went back to my family that was there, and I was like, you have to come with me and see this tree. And at first there was some moans and groans, like, oh, here we go. But everyone did take the walk with me, and I believe on some level everyone did enjoy seeing this tree. I said, let's give it a proper hug. It took all 5 of us holding hands to make a circle around this tree. It was that big. It was just that incredible. And, you know, when you're under a willow tree, it is its own space. You know, now this one had been trimmed or something because it, you know, it didn't hang quite as low, but it was still just so magnificent. I just cannot explain. And it had several parts to the center of it where, like, if you could get up there, you could have like a little room, like you could sleep in the middle of this tree. Like, really, you could. So what an incredible message of grounding this weekend, and to pull I didn't even pull the tree card, to have the tree card shoot out of the deck like that, just a message of grounding. So do you want to rebirth with the earth? Circle yes or no. I'm assuming it's a yes, right? You don't want to get left behind in the chaos. What you want to do is rebirth with the earth into newer to you, higher magical realms, right? Into the new earth. How do you do that? It's not by getting high and floating off. It's by grounding your energy into Gaia. If you want to move with the earth, if you want to dance with the earth, if you want to grow with the earth, if you want to live in peace and harmony with the earth, then every day you need to go out and put your feet on her and ground your energy into her energy and let her hold you. Let her anchor you in so that you are one with the earth. That is the true brotherhood that you want to feel, one with the earth. So I just love having the spring equinox, the fairies, and the tree coming in to start our week off. Just letting us know to anchor in, to be open to the magic, and to really allow yourself to rise with Gaia. So on that note, I want to grab the book because this deck is amazing. With all my guidebooks, even last night, like I pulled like from the Galactic Heritage deck, and I'd look at the card and I would think I would know the message, like, oh, okay. But then I read in the guidebook and it was like, oh, okay. You know, these guidebooks are golden. And yeah, some of them are just, you know, it's like, yeah, definitely look in the book because there's more to this than you realize. But yeah, so the spring equinox, we've already had it. It was back in March. Although if you're in the southern hemisphere, like shout out to Australia, my beautiful friends in Australia, yours will be coming up in September. So yeah, this might be relevant. Like I said, anytime I pull cards, we all get our own little different message, don't we? So the spring equinox is when the sun crosses the plane of the equator, and day and night are the same length across the planet. Mother Earth is pregnant and birthing once again. Crops can once again be planted. So, Lady Spring that I saw on the card, that is Ostara, a Germanic goddess of spring. Ostara is also a Northern European name for Astarte, which means womb, and is another name for Venus, the goddess of love, passion, and creativity. The Christian holiday of Easter stems from this goddess, and in this card we see some archetypal symbols of the spring equinox that represent the rebirth of the world, such as rabbits, eggs, and flowers. It is indeed a time for renewal. So yeah, it is indeed a time of renewal for humanity, for yourself, right? So that's how it starts. If humanity is going to change, then you're going to change first. I'm going to change next. You do it first. We're all going to change on renew ourselves, and then collectively, as we come together, we inspire more and more people to renew themselves. So here's our message from Earth Magic. You thought this passage you have been through would never end. Just as certain that the light of the world fades every few months, it makes its return, and the earth rejoices. The first breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of the light. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in all her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycles of Mother Earth. This cycle of rebirth you are experiencing follows a considerably challenging time. You don't say. Any tears you may have shed have cleared the way for what has been gestating, which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that a freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful, particularly in that passage just before delivery. Yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be with the emergence of this next cycle with faith and grace. So isn't that good news? Like, yeah, we've shed some tears up in here for sure. And it's just one final last call. All that does not serve needs to be laid to rest. Like, let it go. Let that shit go. So yeah, if you've been holding on to anything old that needs to be laid to rest, it doesn't serve you anymore. Let it go, because spring is here. Even if it's going to be fall where you're at. The energetics of spring in your life is here. So time to rebirth into something fresh and something new. Yes, and that brought in our fairy energy, which is truly earth magic. Fairies, yes, fairies are nature spirits thought to be descended from the early tribes, particularly the Tuatha de Danann, those associated with the goddess Dana, who once ruled Ireland that inhabited the British Isles. Over time, these ancient people... Hold on, I have to turn the page. Come on, old lady fingers, start to work. Over time, these ancient people were conquered and displaced, and they fled to areas where humans didn't venture, ultimately becoming increasingly smaller and less visible in order to better hide themselves. Fairies have assumed responsibility for the plants and the trees. Okay, now that's awesome. That's a tree card flew out. Responsible for the plants and the trees, or the standing ones. Fairies work with earth magic to take care of these beings, and if you ask, they'll help you with your garden or yard. They have also been the power of enchantment and shape-shifting. Fairies appreciate it when we show them through our actions that we love the earth as much as they do. And consequently, they bestow a little of their earth magic upon us. So without realizing it, as I was just, encircling this magnificent willow tree, loving it, I didn't realize that the fairies were acknowledging that aspect of me. So that is so fun. That is so fun. Now, something else that happened this weekend is the top of my pear tree, the one pear tree, bowed over. It was standing straight up. It bent over. And I thought, oh my gosh, so heavy with pears. I need to cut some of those pears off. But before I had a chance to get to it this morning, as a Monday chore, yesterday it broke off. And I feel like this tree represented the old energy. It's so sad for me to see a tree do that. But it's like, I don't know. It's like you have to let go of the old. You can't be holding on to all this old stuff, right? So I've had a lot of tree energy in my weekend. I didn't even realize it. But now that I have the tree card in front of me, we'll do that next. It is really interesting to think about all these messages that the standing ones can bring forth. So what kind of messages are you getting from the trees? You know, think about which trees you're being pulled towards and, you know, what they're trying to say to you. And be around the trees and the plants and love them so much. And yeah, if you ask for help from the fairies when you're in that place of loving nature, they could bestow a little magic upon you. So here's your message though. You have the same power available to you as the fairies do. It starts with loving the earth through your heartfelt gratitude and appreciation, but more important, through your actions. The fairies can help you reconnect in a more intimate way with the earth, and all they require is your willingness to pay attention to the trees and plant life around you and demonstrate your care. Whether you live in a small space or have an expanse of land, make it a point to be especially attentive to your surrounding vegetation. Plant something. Get your hands in the dirt and do so with love and enthusiasm. Every flower, tree, or shrub you are tending is a living being. So treat each like you would a dear friend. Ask the fairies to help you take care of these friends, and you will be rewarded many times over. This is just such an interesting message for me because there are parts of my yard that are literally insane. And I can't just get in there and start ripping things out because I do already see them as plant beings. And it's like, oh God, you're living, you know? Even though like all my neighbors have these neat and tidy yards, there's mine. Then there is my yard, you know? But it's like I just have such a respect and reverence, even in their wild, chaotic states, that a lot of times I just want to let them be. So yeah, it's a very interesting message. So I call on the fairy realm now. Definitely help me, guide me. Who's supposed to be there? Who's not? Or is it just everybody supposed to be there the way they are? You know, and I go out and think, oh, what should I do? And then I get distracted with appreciation. Isn't that a nice distraction? I get distracted with appreciation, just walking around, stroking the plants, smelling them, looking at the flowers, admiring the leaves, you know, just watching how tall some of them have gotten. Some of them, I have a sweet Annie that is like literally 10 feet tall. She's incredible. And then I have some shorter ones that are kind of overcrowded. And those are the ones that I have access to. And I stroke my hand up it and I smell my hand and it's so incredible. Like it's just so magical. It really is. So yeah, just having this respect, reverence, appreciation, and love to the plants, to the herbs, to the trees. It is being noticed within you, within Gaia, and within the fairy realm as well. And isn't that so fun that fairies they are responsible for the trees, for the plants and the trees. So all these standing ones, all these trees that we can connect with, the fairies can help us connect with them even more and help us connect with Mother Earth even more, right? So let's call on the fairies to help us ground even more because we got the tree, which is all about grounding. So this is such a strong, clear invitation for us to connect with the earth today and all week, every day, 365, right? Every day connect with the earth It never gets old. So the tree card with the message of grounding, consider how trees, the standing ones, exemplify balance between heaven and earth. Their branches reach up and out as if in praise of the bounty that Sky Father has to offer. Their leaves breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, a vital process for so many beings on the planet, including us humans. Their trunks and roots have planted themselves firmly in the ground, in the soil, allowing them to receive the gifts of another kind of nourishment from Earth Mother. In turn, they freely and gratefully give back by accommodating the needs of so many beings with what they have to offer. In this image, we see a magnificent tree situated in a meadow at the edge of a pond, greeting the early rays of light from the dawn. We see its reflection in the still water, but do not see its roots, as they are embedded in the depths of the moist, fertile body of Earth Mother. The strength of these roots supports the tree's innate desire to grow to the light, to reach not only upward, but outward as well. Wow. So it's our innate desire as well to grow upward and outward. It's our innate desire to connect to the light as well as to the earth. So yeah, definitely a message here to connect with the innate, connect with your smart body, connect, with that energy within you. So the message is you have been feeling scattered and spacey lately. You don't say. You are not fully in your body, and that is because you have not been able to get grounded. This is quite literally in that your body is made of the materials of the earth. So when you feel disconnected from your body, you are inevitably disconnected from earth. So get yourself grounded. You can do so quite simply. With your feet firmly planted on the ground, wherever you are, feel the etheric roots that extend into the earth. Follow your breath so that each time you exhale, you can imagine these roots going even deeper. Each time you inhale, draw up the loving, nurturing power of Earth Mother. So as we exhale, we imagine these energetic roots, these etheric roots, going even deeper from our feet, right? Just go deeper, deeper with every exhale. And then as we inhale, we bring up the loving, nurturing power of Earth Mother Gaia Chaitanya. So we're bringing up loving power energy with our inhale. And as we exhale, our roots are going even deeper. We go deeper, 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 and bring up more of that loving, nurturing power of Earth Mother with the inhale. As soon as you have the chance, go outdoors and sit or stand with your back supported by a tree. Feel its solidness and integrity. It is simply being a tree. Breathe in the essence of tree spirit and allow this to fill you up. Walk barefoot very slowly on the ground so you can maintain this connection. Oh, wow, you guys. Here we go. All these inhales, all these exhales, all this oxygen, OMG, I feel lightheaded and high. I feel like I'm rebirthing into a new energy. I definitely feel like we've tapped in to some earth magic. So wow, once again, we are getting another invitation to connect with the trees, to connect with the trees, to connect with the trees. Wow, let's connect with the trees. It's so incredible. So thank you, spring equinox. Thank you, fairies. Thank you, trees. Thank you, standing ones. We are ready to rebirth into this energy, into this earth magic. And the way we do that is going to be grounding, to getting back into our bodies, to getting back into nature, to getting literally putting our backs to a tree and connecting with the tree spirits and envisioning our roots going down into the earth and our connection to the earth bringing back up this loving, supportive, strong energy for us to be able to anchor in this new energy and to be able to rebirth into the new energy and to be able to connect with all these spirits and fairies that are willing to connect with us. We just have to raise our vibration and get to it. So how do we raise our vibration? Putting our feet on the earth today and connecting with Earth Mother and breathing more, breathing deep and feeling that highness, that natural frequency raising to come into our body. And don't let it freak you out. Just keep breathing, keep anchoring your feet in there. You're not going to pass out, probably not. Just keep breathing. It's called oxygen and it belongs in your body. So bring it in, feel good, and have a wonderful Monday. And do this practice. Take this energetic practice with you everywhere you go. Practice it all day, every day, 365, and bring that type of rebirthing energy into the group, into humanity. Do your part for humanity by raising your frequency with the trees and fairies.